Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Recently I did a review of the Hootoo File Hub server and a lot of people like that, and I also noticed that RAVPower reached out to me because now one of you guys mentioned in the comments that I should compare that with the RAVPower offering that is comparable in certain specs to what the Hootoo server is. So today we're going to do a head-to-head comparison between the RAVPower offering and the Hootoo File Hub server. I want to say thank you to RAVPower and to Hootoo for allowing me to review these devices, but let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and dive in. I recently reviewed the Hootoo File Hub server. Now we have functional ports, USB, full size, and micro USB for charging. We have the ability of connecting a standard wired internet connection, splitting it and sharing it with your friends. A lot of functional things, and a built-in 10,000 milliamp bank. As far as the specs, you get 5 volts at 2.1 amps for the output, which is very, very nice. And that's really where it kind of stands. It has a very nice design and it works quite well. But some of you guys in the comments asked me, hey TK, have you considered reviewing this compared to the RAVPower offering? Now, RAVPower is another company that I've worked with in the past. And the reason I say before is because this is the new model for the RAVPower devices. And I'll show you guys real quick the box. Here it is. It's the all-in-one file hub. It's a wireless router, wireless media sharing, and it's 6,000 milliamp external battery. This is the model RPWD03, specifically so you guys know which one it is. And this one supports full-size SD cards. And then on the back, they just give us more, how to get in touch with them. But overall, the box content really is the power bank, or the actual all-in-one file hub, and a micro USB cable. Not much, but let's go ahead and look into the meat of the product. The reason I said I've worked with RAVPower in the past is this is, and I'm not sure if you guys can remember this, this is the one file hub that I've reviewed for you guys here on the channel about a few years ago. And it pretty much mirrors some of the functionalities that we have here. Although the performance on this is not as good as this, and we'll get a chance to do some demos on that, for the most part, they're both 6,000 milliamp banks. They both have full-size Ethernet cables. Sorry, this is the USB here, and the Ethernet is on the other end. Capabilities to be able to share internet and share files, and they both connect via the same protocol. And once you connect them, it's pretty much the same IP. Actually, it gives us the setup information on the old model. The new models, they don't do that anymore, but the old models used to give us the setup information on that. We'll get into that. And then on the side here, we have the SD card reader, micro USB to charge. Other than that, all three of these things perform similarly. Which one is best? Which one is the one that you guys should pick up? We're going to get to that, and we're going to dive in. So, starting off, we're going to put the RAVPower, the new one, the RPWD03 model against the Hootoo one. Looking at aesthetics, we have 6,000 milliamp versus 10,000. Power functionality, we press it once, and let's go ahead and push it one. Press it once, we get the 4 LEDs telling us how much power we have. Pressing it again, we'll turn it on. So we're going to press and hold. You notice they do the exact same thing. It circles, you get it up. Here we have the LED light telling us that we have Wi-Fi. There actually is a small Wi-Fi symbol. It's hard to see. And then here we have the lit Wi-Fi signal telling us that we are on. So meaning that we have the ability of connecting to both these units. Connectivity, we have USB connectivity to be able to connect anything that connects via USB Type A. That's really the main compatibility. Here we get a little bit different configuration. We don't have the functionality of having 10,000 milliamp batteries, but we do have the ability to still doing the same thing, full-size network cable as well as a USB connector. So we still get that functionality, which, by the way, here's the full-size Ethernet cable. So those two are here, they're connected. Where this one excels over is the fact that it has a full-size SD card reader. So here we have, let's say, a full-size SD card. I'm using a micro USB adapter here. I can just plug it in, and then we'll get it, that little click, and it is. And now we have the ability of accessing not only the files that are via the USB, also via the micro SD card. This is great for photographers. If you're out in the field, you're taking a lot of pictures, but you don't want to use cables, you plug in your SD card, transfer your pictures to your PC, and pop them back into your camera and take more pictures. It's very fast, and we're going to get a chance to check out some of the pictures here. Again, we're going to use the same type of confirmation of connection here. We're going to use the USB thumb drive that I used last time, and we're going to check it out on the Hootoo, quickly on the RAVPower, and then last but not least, the RAVPower, as far as this model, and I'll give you guys the model number, and that's the RPWD02. So actually the exact predecessor. This is 02, this is 03. The only difference between these two is that this performs or uses micro USB cards. So this will have micro SD card compatibility, where this one will use full-size SD cards. Other than that, they're pretty much identical. Well, other than the color, of course, and the form factor. I think it's a little bit more design friendly here. It's much smaller fit, even though this is kind of thinner a little bit. but it's wider, and I think they both fit very nicely. It just depends on what you guys want. So we're going to compare them to these two, and we're going to be using our OnePlus 3. So for the comparison here, since we already have an SD card plugged in here, I'm going to use the USB drive here, and you'll notice here that the light turns on, so we do have power on here. First off, we're going to connect. We just have to turn on our Wi-Fi. It shows up both of them. I'm going to connect only to the Tripmate. So the Hootoo Tripmate is connected, and I saw the LED flash blinking. And then we can go ahead and open up our browser. 10, here it is, the first one on my list. And configuration is pretty simple. Now for the review, it automatically does default to no password with admin. You just say login. And we have the ability of accessing it. The interface is actually very similar. You'll notice also that RAVPower uses similar technology. We have the ability to see how much battery we have. The connection to the internet is on. It's green. It means I'm connected to, via the router functionality to my home network. I have the ability of going and say explore. Here's the USB thumb drive. We have the same information that we had before. I can click the player and I'll go OK, just so once. And then we're going to just look at that file. Now this is a file that I recorded with the DJI Osmo. There is no sound, as that's not part of what it does, but you can see here that the video playback is very nice. And I'm using the pop-up video player so that I'm able to kind of keep an eye on it and watch the video at the same time. I'll give it a second to let it buffer, and it starts to play again. We'll go full screen. You notice, very nice, very good. We're going to go ahead and close it. We'll close it up. And then we're going to check out an MP4 file that I created, something that has audio on it. Go ahead and turn it on, and I'm going to turn up the audio because I have that turned on. For a couple of weeks, and I really enjoyed the device for some time. So today I'm going to share with you the top 5. Paying a premium price for the dual edge screens on this device. So this was a video that I did not that long ago on the S6 Edge Plus and why I returned and went with the Note 5. Very nice, very easy, very simple video to watch. But it does work quite well, and then the audio works pretty good. Now that was a 1080p video over the 4K video that I was running there, but it was streaming it pretty good. The file size on that is 671 megabytes. So we'll go ahead and turn the Hootoo one off. Now this is mostly just to demonstrate the file sharing and the ability of streaming. And I'll press to hold power. You notice it goes back, back, back. And at the end, once it's done, it turns off the light. So now we know that the Hootoo one works pretty good. Now I already demonstrated that one to you guys before. It works very, very nice. We're going to not only connect the SD card here, but we're also going to connect the USB. I want to show you guys how we're going to see both files. And here we are. And we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to do power once and then press it again. And this is going to give us the ability to just turn it on. You'll notice it goes up, 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 and it's going to connect. From our phone, all we need to do is go back into our Wi-Fi settings, File Hub, and this says File Hub Plus 694C. It's connected. Now it says it's File Hub. It doesn't say Tripmate anymore. The interface or the UI is very, very similar. You'll notice aesthetically it's pretty much the same. We do have the ability here to see the additional icon that we see. Now it says I have an SD card, and it says green, which means I can access it. The power, connected to the internet. I've already connected it to my network. I've set it up. The setup is pretty simple. You just go under settings, and then you're able to go through the setup wizard, or you can go network settings, and then you go internet. And what it does essentially is it gives you access to the local, to the Wi-Fi option to be able to get and set up your home network. So we'll go home. And I just want to show you guys how we are able to access now the two different file systems. You'll notice SD card and USB disk. So the USB disk obviously is this is what we were using before. I'm going to go ahead and play the same video one more time using the same player, pop-up video player. I recently picked up the S6 Edge Plus from T-Mobile. You notice streaming extremely well, very nice, very specific. I'll give it a second. I did put a cake. And we'll go back. Trying to reach, you now have to reach. So it works pretty well. I'm not going to worry about that part. We'll go back. So we're going to go into the File Explorer. We have the two options. We checked out the USB disk as we did before. We're going to go to the SD card. Let's go ahead and under download, and I'm just going to open up a file directly off of it. Yes, this is the best. This is one of the old pictures when I had my goatee still on. So connectivity works the exact same way. You have the ability of getting the additional option here of using SD card. Now, where the old version used to support micro SD, they work pretty much the exact same way. You're able to connect to it, share your files, and get the best experience out of it. The end comparison is going to be very basic. It depends really on what you need. If you need 10,000 milliamps, your Hootoo one is going to be your power bank. It provides power at 2.1 amps, and you have the ability of using it as a power bank, as I mentioned. As far as the two RAVPower offerings, we have 6,000 milliamps on each one of them, putting out a 1 amp charge. So you're not going to get the same faster charging that you have here. Obviously, we're not talking any quick charge here, but we're talking faster at 2.1 amps for your tablets and so on. I think the Hootoo one will definitely do you best. As far as sharing your internet connection, they all do the exact same thing. They're all able to convert either wireless or wired internet connection and provide you with a router functionality to connect through it. I think that's functional and it's needed as you're connecting to its actual Wi-Fi connection, but you're missing the fact that you can't browse the internet if you're doing that. So this will work and they all provide the same thing. Now, as far as SD card and functional, readers, the Hootoo one is unfortunately where it loses kind of thing. It has no SD card functionality. You're pretty much stuck to using the USB connector. It's very functional, but you're stuck to the USB connector. And RAVPower excels in this department as giving us full-size SD card here on the reader for the black one here with the 6,000 milliamp battery and micro SD. And I think this one kind of works the same. Now, this one is also another 6,000 milliamp, so you're really getting about the same performance here. It's more of a preference. Full-size SD, micro SD. I probably would go with the full-size SD with an adapter because then you can just kind of go, micro SD, full-size card. And I think this one really for me is the best. Again, all of these things are very nice. I'll give you guys links in the description below. I want to say thank you to RAVPower and Hootoo for allowing me to review these devices. They're different options for you guys, and hopefully you found something that will work for you. They're portable, they're small, they're easy. They really pretty much do everything that you need. If you like this video, please make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Other than that, again, thank you very much for the support. I will see you guys in the next one. Initial thing, it says let's get started. It says swipe left for widgets, so we'll go ahead and swipe to the left. Front facing camera, fingerprint sensor is at the bottom, and again, this isn't a button, it's